Good morning everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be pressure washing out one of our calf rooms. We cleaned it out yesterday and this is actually going to be the first time that I ever pressure wash one of these rooms. This room is about 3.5 years old, I believe. It's usually my sister's job, but she can't get it done today. And this is really the only day of the week that she does it, which is Tuesday. So we've already got calves that are doubling up in spots in the other room. We're going to get this room clean and ready for new calf. Gotta grab the pressure washer. We're gonna be using 2 different kinds of soap to disinfect it. That's what we're doing this morning. So in all of these rooms, there is a high pressure hookup for the pressure washer. And that's a stainless steel line. Every room has one. And then we hook up the pressure washer in the corner over here. We've picked up the pressure washer from the water room in the barn over there. This is always used for pressure washing the parlor, but it's also used in the calf barn here. We just have it on a dolly so we can roll it back and forth. It's a little cheaper than buying 2 of these. I think 3 or 4 grand a piece. So if you can just roll it back and forth, save yourself a bit of money. I do think eventually we're gonna get 2, but it's nice to have one for backup, I guess. For now, not. Our equipment pressure washer is broken now too, so we only have 1 pressure washer on the farm, which is kind of rough. But the equipment one is only really used in the summer anyway. For when we're hauling or it's muddy out there. So the pressure washer is not on yet. I just turned the water on to it. Now we gotta go check all the rooms. Make sure none of those valves are leaking. I hear one in here. Yep. Close them all off. Right on, got her all hooked up. All I gotta do is turn that pressure washer on. I think we're gonna start by soaking the entire room and then we'll come back with the foam. I think it's a good idea to make everything wet before you foam it. Well, we've got the room thoroughly soaked and hopefully all that caked on manure is getting a little bit softer. We've done it twice now. We're gonna start foaming up this room. The first soap that we're gonna be using is to make the manure easier to come off. Got a jug here I can show you guys. This one's called BioSolve Plus and this one's called Lift. So they do the same thing. We're gonna be soaking the room in that. And then after we're gonna use this other brand of stuff. And that's cleaner and disinfectant, so that'll kill any leftover bacteria, hopefully. But yeah, this is our foam gun. We'll just hook that up to the pressure washer gun. I don't know if Neline usually does the middle. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing that. We did it anyway. I think we're gonna use 3 jugs worth of the blue soap and then probably 3 of the orange as well. Seems to be covering everything really well. Well, That is the second coat of foam, and that is the disinfector. Apparently we just spray that on, and now we let the room dry out, and then calves will go on. So yeah, she looks pretty clean. Looks like it just snowed in here, but it's dark outside. You can see through those doors. It's 9:30 right now. Had a bit of a longer day than I was expecting. We had a meeting this morning, so I couldn't really clean the room at all. I had to feed first batch of feed to the milk cows as well, and then this evening we had a tough calving. There was twins. One was already not alive when we started to pull them out, so I had the head out and the leg out at the same time, rear leg, so that obviously doesn't check out, so that was a bit rough. Cow's fine, and the second calf is fine, but unfortunately the one calf didn't make it. So it is the next day, and we just moved the double calves over. Gotta fill all the pens up with sawdust right away. And I was just breeding a cow. I looked at the cow's feed, and it looks like there's some whole barley in the feed, and that's a problem. It's supposed to be all broken up into really tiny pieces, but if we dig in the feed a little bit here, there's quite a bit of whole barley, and we do not want to see that. That means it's going to go straight through the cow. She's going to eat it. It's going to go all the way through her out the back end. What do you think, Heisler? Was the feed a little off this morning? I'll take that as a yeah, because you're not eating right now, so something's got to be off, right? Hammer mill's in there. I just want to click the red button for off. This will make sure nothing accidentally turns on me. There we go. Safety is always the #1 priority, right? We'll get our hammer mill opened up. Yep, she is buggered. So that's why there's whole barley in the feed. We'll just slap a new one in there. That's really unfortunate. Usually there's a big hole in the screens, and that happens if you run it too long. You let it wear too much. But this is just a, something could have went through it still, but these things are, I believe, $50, which is not bad at all. If you've never seen the inside of a hammering mill before, the grain comes in through here, and then it gets fed into this drum. These hammers spin around really quick, and it forces all the grain through all these little holes, falls down into the auger, and that goes into the bin where we fill the feed wagons with. And yeah, if there's a hole in this screen, obviously not all the grain is going to get processed. We're going to close this door. All of the grain from there goes in the top here, and I guess it's fed into the bottom of the drum. There's a little magnet here. It's always crazy to see all of the metal. Well, that's a key, some washers, pins, it looks like. Oh, there's a nail, straight up nail on there. So that's to prevent any of this metal stuff from falling into the screen. That's obviously, if you have a big enough chunk of metal, it's gonna just rip the screen apart. So some pretty big heavy magnets here. Probably get that cleaned off before we close it up. So we just fired it up to see if it was working good. It is. Didn't hear any loud banging, so should be ready to rock and roll again. Hopefully not too much barley went through. I guess we'll see as we empty those other bins. putting bedding in the corrals this afternoon. Once again, using that hemp straw. What you guys see here is pretty much what we got left. There's one decent row, couple bales scattered here and there, but we're gonna be really happy to get through all these hemp straw bales. Because we've used nothing but hemp straw this winter bedding these corrals, I think this spring we're just gonna stockpile all of the manure out of these corrals and let it sit there and rot for a couple years, because if we spread it directly on the field, that's gonna lead to a massive mess when the seeder goes through it. It's gonna drag all that hemp straw along and it's gonna just plug up constantly. So hopefully this spring's manure hauling is gonna go a lot quicker, but that's the only upside really. I think sending 800 or so hemp straw bales through our shredder over the last 2 winters has put quite a bit of wear and tear on it. That being said, these bales were a blessing to us over the last 2 years. They were cheap straw and got us through a tough period when there was very little straw out there to be bought. So anyway, let's get bedding. You guys might be wondering why I'm driving in the tractor. Me and Dad have officially switched and he's standing by the gate these days. Feels weird, not gonna lie. It's pretty frozen, so I don't think I'm gonna get stuck in the mud so quickly, but we'll try and stay out of stuff like that, that's for sure. Maybe I'm gonna lose my tractor driving privileges. Look what I just did. Drove a little too far into this muddy corner and now we're stuck. It's not deep at all, it's just I got zero traction on those rear tires. It's a rear-wheel drive tractor, so it's a pretty tough situation. I unloaded the rest of the bale, figured I'd take the weight out of the shredder here and then try, but I saw Dad already drive away and go for the loader, so I got one thing I can try. I'm gonna try to take some of this hemp straw, throw it behind those rear tires. Maybe that'll give me enough traction. Nice! Well, I'm so stoked about getting out of that one. I think I would have heard that one from Dad for a while. Rightfully so. This has been kind of the worst part about the hemp straw. It keeps plugging up that bale shredder. It's supposed to all be open like this. But luckily, Federer started doing this job and he figured out that you can pitchfork it out super easily. And the pitchfork just sits nicely here on the tractor with these 2 handles. So shout out to him. Me and Dad never figured that out, but it definitely made this job a million times easier. These shelters are also getting super full. That straw pack is, it's probably halfway up there. It's pretty low down there. And now we've broke a shear bolt on the PTO. You might be thinking it's just one of those days for putting bedding in, get stuck, plug it a bunch of times, break a shear bolt. This is every single time. We're all done now. All 9 corrals of some fresh bedding. So we always just go hand bomb all the straw off of the unit that we can. Otherwise it just builds up to the point where it's disgusting. And then it melts any snow in the shop, and then you have a bunch of moisture on your machine, starts rusting. Get as much of this crap off as we can.